And it's Tetris Effect, a game of Tetris with a, you could say, fancy amount of presentation, and it was originally, or better say, it can also be played in VR environment. But I think that gameplay-wise, it was just basically just a method of getting the online multiplayer Tetris to be really going on, because, well, the competitive Tetris had grown very fast. So they just decided to go for the make it so that the competitive multiplayer can be made much more available, as of course they needed some sort of package to deliver it with. So they made this kind of fun, all kinds of effect modes that you can play. You play, of course, the classical form of Tetris with all kinds of special stages, and of course be as fast, really difficult modes, and all kinds of different trick modes and all gimmick modes, all that kind of things. Nothing weird about that, but it's just time to show the basic of the, you could say, journey mode, or better say how it starts with nice visuals. And I already gone past this one. It's, well, basically every stage is simple. You play Tetris in this weird thing. There is really no reason to say that does this game have a plot, and it also has all the fancy things that the game can show, like all the T-spin maneuvers and all that. All those kind of things are in the game, but I think that what's the real fancy thing is the new called zone mechanic that they brought into this one, which allows basically player to stop time, drop lots of blocks at the and basically make them then drop at the same time, and giving you a chance to rack up big scores and big amount of lines. And here's Tetris. And of course you get extra points from combos, back-to-backs, which used to say back-to-back Tetrises. And of course all these pieces are Tetriminos, not Tetrominos, Tetriminos. That's the official spelling by the Tetris company. And I think it's still run and managed by Alexei Pajitnov, man who can be easily said to be a guy who deserves nowadays to be very rich. Mostly because, well, he created Tetris. And of course you can stash your pieces, so you can then bring it out whenever you want to. And one more bling Tetris with a nice whale-like sounds. And that was T-spin maneuver. You can drop pieces, you can do the instant quick drop, which drops it right down. But it's a bit, all that kind of gameplay conveniences are in the game. Getting combos. So yeah, gameplay wise, it's Tetris. You really can't, which means that you can easily learn what the gameplay is about in few minutes. You don't need long time to figure out how Tetris is played. That was the very idea of what, I would say, of many ideas that happened with when Tetris was being developed, that they just went to it was very simplistic gameplay. It took bit tweaks for them right at the beginning phase to make it really fun and engaging, and then of course all kinds of tinkering and fighting to get it to the actual platform that Soviets, yes, it was developed in state no longer even existing, so they could basically make it much more commercial business thing. So you can say that in computer technology or history, Tetris is the only memory, I would say really big and important memory of the Soviet Union. And well, for that you can say many things, but And yeah, in the journey mode, your idea is to stack about a few lines. Well, it depends on difficulty, from 30 to about 50 lines in these quite nice looking landscape things. And there's this flashy thing, which means that I got the zone mode ready to be popped out either in once the situation starts to look bad, or I try to go and rack myself a big chunk of points. And of course I'm showing my math skills, or to say my lack of them, by doing all kinds of dumb stackings that professionals would most likely never even bother to do. Or maybe you could say that yes, they would do them, but they would be completely. They would solve the problem. They would solve those issues in, you could say, in speeds of something like blink of an eye. Yeah, I am not a great player of Tetris, but I must say that it's a matter of multiplayer, which is going to be shown right after this basic demonstration of most modern Tetris. Basically, just that, which, as much as can I see, just a way to bring the Tetris multiplayer back up into, or to say, the competition Tetris, to make it much more widely accessible with a official Tetris game product. Looking bad. Oh yeah. There's dependencies and all that kind of things that I'm suffering now quite badly, and I've got a big hole in my stack. So I'm not really wishing to blast out my nice T-spin over there. Yeah, and I don't know that does the so-called zone mode, does it use regular basically regular normal randomizing, in the sense that it would make a piece drop one by one, meaning that it would have no previous drops had no meaning on this one, like in the, you could say, in completely through random, that one by one randomizing, or is it does it use the so-called bag system, which means that it takes all the 7 pieces, spins them around and flops them into you, and then once that bag is over, it takes a new bag and spins it around and ruffles them around. I don't know which they are using, but suffice to say, it doesn't actually much matter which they are using, because the game is it can be very challenging. It can be Tetris can be very brutal game, especially if you look at the high level game playing. Not much Tetris games in that one, and I do have to pop out the zone in this, just to show that what it does. But you can still see that when you get the yeah, and you also have the so-called guard keep bag, that you can put a piece there that you don't want it there, or just for the reason that now I need it, so it's time to bring it out. So yeah, there's many, you could say, fancy maneuvers in this game available. But even when you have these fancy maneuvers available, it doesn't make it any easier. Actually, it might almost make it even more difficult. But Tetris is a game that I must say that it has that real nice thing of being very easy to understand, but it's really hard to master. Except meaning that to get really good at it, it takes a lot of practice. And I don't think that when Alexei Payetno managed to get this game into its first running forms, knew how great of a product he was doing. They certainly knew that this is something good, that we have some sort of that we have something good in our hands, but most likely not knowing that they would have a massive phenomenon like Tetris is known to be. I got a big hole down there, open finally. So time to drop this. Drop more pieces. It's almost there, and now as a finisher, popping up the zone. Drop them. Dropping pieces. Yep. Octaris. That means 8 pieces drop, and it doesn't count on this one, so time to end this episode's actual commentary size with this beautiful light screen telling how well I played in this part. Not so well, and show my first competitive match of Tetris, which against my expectations was a victory. So enjoy my massive first triumph, which gave me a massive victory percent of 100%. So time to end this with us showing.